God Loki can do anything with the MCU now, including bring back characters from the brink of death, or sometimes even when they're fully dead. So let's talk about the potential return of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Just so we're clear, right now that Loki is sitting at the end of time looking all over infinite universes and what could happen, there is a version of Avengers Endgame where Tony Stark and none of them die and they're all alive. So you could easily bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark from the multiverse, or Loki himself could literally use, well, technically the hand of God, go back in time and help them win in the MCU, thus rewriting anything and everything that's happened since. Honestly, it's a lot of power to have, and Loki is showing self-restraint by not doing any of this, hence his character arc to become like the ultimate hero. So recently, the star of Loki himself, Tom Hiddleston, was doing interviews, and on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, he was asked about characters dying, such as Loki dying, for example, and coming back multiple times and now having different versions of Loki out there and now infinite versions of Loki. So after all this was brought up, Jimmy Fallon just straight up asked Tom Hiddleston, is it possible your character now can literally bring back Iron Man from the dead? He sidesteps the question by saying, well, speaking for myself, you've seen Loki die a few times. And he says, that was the end of my job as well. But they found a way to bring me back, entice me, and here I am now. So, death isn't necessarily the end. Also saying that death is up for grabs. So you never know what could happen, and just because somebody died, they're not necessarily dead. And then he says, this is where I'm going to leave that at, so I'm leaving it up to you to decide if he can come back or not, or if he will or not. So yeah, it's quite clear that we're going to see something very interesting happen here in the future in regards to characters returning. Certainly, there's more than one Iron Man in the multiverse. Do they bring in another actor? Do they bring in Tom Cruise finally? Do they bring both in? Do we have multiple Iron Mans? You know, there's so many ways that you can handle this, and who knows how they're going to do it. But Tom Hiddleston leading into this, I think it's crystal clear what they're going to do. And I think it's become quite apparent that Loki now, where he is sort of something that they can use to adjust things, right? Going, well, Loki's out there, so who knows? You know, maybe this little thing that happened here, maybe you saw that in a different way, right? It's sort of like that whole DCU approach that they're taking now. Well, the events of Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad did happen, but you remember when Ezra Miller showed up and he interacted with Peacemaker? That didn't happen. It happened slightly different, but we're not going to tell you how. They could feasibly and technically do that now. It's probably not going to work, and it's a dumb idea for the MCU. It works a lot easier for the DCEU and DCU since, well, you know, that franchise already has all its problems. But here, they could do something like that and show it to us, and then we get back to it. So we'll see what happens, but honestly, I think he knows, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is going to return, and I'm going to be returning in the same project as well.